Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going on to Bitcoin. We're in the CoinsKid cruise. So Bitcoin currently trending at around about 81,946. There's a potential that the bottom is in, so we need to look at that and structurally in the charts. I'm looking for something. One key thing on Bitcoin in the charts right there, I think could be a clue to okay. We're bottomed here, and right now we're creating reversal structure, and then we're beginning to break out, and you're potentially looking at the all-time highs here for Bitcoin. But it is all about the market structure going forward. So it has had a whopping correction. I don't think it's quite as deep as the one we experienced last year. So I'll look in the charts with you in a moment. But what's concerning at the moment, we are below the bull market support band for Bitcoin. Okay, so macro, we are minus 8.6% below that bull market support band, and we don't necessarily want to stay down there for too long. Okay, because if you start to stay down there for multiple weeks, it does increase the probability that you are in a deeper correction than you actually anticipate. So I'll look at that in the charts with you. But going forward, we take a look at the buy the effing dip. This is an indicator that create for the CoinsKid crew that is currently sitting around about 63k. Now I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to come down there, but if there was a big flash crash, I would come to BTFD on CoinsKid.com and I will put bids wherever the big green line is. Okay, so if we move to the left, this line is absolutely amazing. It tagged it in the summer last year on August 5th, 50k. Look at that beautiful Bitcoin wick down to 49,121. How accurate is this particular indicator? If we zoom to the left, you can clearly see, I think it was March, it had this big expander flat correction. It bounced off it there on March the 10th, 2023. A couple of years ago right now, around about 19k. Beautiful little level of support right there, and obviously the bottom of that major crash and correction November 2022 right there. We've got the capitulation of the FTX fallout. This was just a beautiful area to bid on Bitcoin basically. So BTFD, buy the effing dip on CoinsKid.com. Whenever you see the price dip below the green line, you buy as much Bitcoin as you can. So say for example, this correction runs deeper, it starts to break down or whatever, I'll be looking for this green line to place bids, because historically this is an amazing level of support. That's why I created this indicator for you, BTFD. Let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now to see what we can see, okay? So quickly before I dive into the charts with you on Bitcoin, I just want to show you a tweet that I made on February 28th. My primary expectation is that possibly this is some kind of free wave down, free wave up, and right now you're 1, 2, waterfall 3, ABC 4, and this is your final fifth wave that's coming down like this into this C wave of an expanded flat correction for, if you take a look, Bitcoin price in April 2023 right there, you come down in the A, rallied in the B, made a higher high, everyone thought it was bullish, and then we dropped in the final C wave, which come down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, just like this here, 1, 2, waterfall 3, 4, 5 setup for this total 2 market cap, which is basically the entire cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin. So I did relay this. I think crypto has been in a correction since December 2024 and is now in a C wave, which is where it bottoms. The last time we traded an ABC wave bump and run reversal was on Bitcoin in late 2023. The 5 wave counter, then take out the sloping trend line. So I'm going to go through that with you in the total 2 chart, what we need to see, and the possibility that we may have bottomed with Bitcoin as well. But we've got to see something to increase the probability of that. For example, here in September, I was relaying to you the 5 wave counter. We jumped in, and as we rode it up, we kept moving a stop sort for anyone who remembers, okay? And I said to you, this should create high lows, which it did. Break this neckline of resistance, which it did, break out, print the green buy dot, and then you're away basically. And that was an amazing trade on Bitcoin for anyone that paid attention. It's a bump and run. It's a classic C wave reversal pattern, which is possibly what we're doing here for the total 2 chart, and equally Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies. We may have bottom right now, and what we're looking for is higher highs and higher lows from the bottom from which we've come on a 5 wave counter. And most importantly, we need to see the green buy dot and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin get its ass back above the CoinsKid ribbon on the daily time frame, which is currently where it's finding resistance. So we've got a lot of work to do to increase probability that the bottom's in, and this is why can't quite call the bottom at the moment until we start to see the confluence in the data points that we rely on to call the bottom basically. But going forward, we've just got to be patient. I think it possibly come in time, but what I'm looking for, this sloping trend line in the total 2 chart, if we start to break that out, create the green buy dot, looking for a very similar thing on XRP as well, then yeah, we're off to the races and another push to the upside over the next few months, which will be absolutely amazing. So let's jump into the total 2 chart, and then we'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart, okay? So the chart on top is the cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin. Basically the ticker is total 2, and then on the bottom is Bitcoin from 2023. We've got April, which is your A, into the B, bull trap B, then we have the C wave, And we traded this. For anyone that's been with the channel and been tuning in for all these years, we've got this beautiful 1, 2, waterfall 3, ABC 4, and then the final flush down, which was a 3-wave move down to complete the C wave, okay, and a 5-wave down. So you got 1, 2, waterfall 3, 4, 5, okay, beautiful 5-wave down. Like I've taught you, 5-wave counter. You see 5 waves to the downside, you buy. You see 5 waves to the upside, you sell. Really, really simple, okay? And this is a rule we live by. So basically, we complete the C wave, a bump and run. We traded that. We jumped in. We kept moving our stops up to negate the trade. Basically, it was a very minimal risk trade. But one thing we did, we rallied into the ribbon, got rejected, came back in an ABC, rallied out of the ribbon and equally this neckline. Then we had an ABC back. So this was a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. At that point, it was an incredibly bullish setup with a green buy dot. Boom, we rode that out of there. It was an amazing trade against the herd mentality. So, you know, we could be where we were there, because if you take a look at the structure right now, possible an ABC, which is a 3-wave move down, a B wave, which is a 3-wave move back up, and then you got some kind of 1 into a 2 into a waterfall 3, some kind of ABC 4, and then boom, you've had this 3-wave move to the downside, 1, 2, 3, which is pretty much what you got there, 1, 2, 3 setup. So we may have completed the correction. I think it was on Tuesday this week, and right now we're working on getting our ass back out of it. So initially we should see a run into the ribbon, just like we saw there, get rejected in an ABC, hold a high-low structure. We'll build some long positions if this is the bottom, because I don't want to ape into longs right now, because I could be completely wrong in this analysis. So this is just simple, responsible trading that I'm doing right now. So I'm waiting for the rally, look for an ABC. I'll try and find a bid targets on a lot of coins, Bitcoin, XRP, so on and so forth. Then we'll have a minimal stop loss, which is what we did here, and then boom, you know, we'll ride this bad boy out of it if this is the correction done. There's a possibility it is, because if you take a look, it's quite similar in structure to the C wave of this C wave. So you got this 1 into a 2 into a waterfall 3, then you got this big retracement 4. So you got this 1, 2 waterfall 3, which lost the structure, ABC 4, and you've got this big uptick, big volume candle. Look at that big uptick, like what you got there. Then you've got a 3-wave move down to complete the C, a 3-wave move down to complete the C. So this week on Tuesday may have actually been the bottom here for this correction in the crypto market. But going forward, what we've got to see is some kind of run into the ribbon, ABC coming back, breakout, back test, beautiful. We start to see this structure, which is what we saw there with a green buy dot just here in time. Okay, we've got a vertical in this chart, we've got another move to the upside. So until that day comes, we've got to be cautious, obviously, because we can't call every single move to the downside, the bottom, until we start to see the data points and the charts. I hope you understand that. And this is the same setup I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. Another bump and run of an ABC, which we've been in since December of 2023 right there. So if I drop the Bitcoin chart into this particular chart right now, you can clearly see why I do actually think we've begun a correction there and not here for Bitcoin, which is what a lot of people are looking at. So I actually think we've been an A, a B, this is an expanded flat correction, and right now you're in a C wave, which consists of 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. May have completed it, so we're looking for a bump and run breakout to new highs over the next few months of Bitcoin, and total 2, which is obviously your cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin. So that's my primary at the moment, and obviously I'm looking for the invalidation of that, so stay tuned, okay? But I will build some macro long positions with you, as I did in late 2023 right there in September, for that explosive breakout for Bitcoin, okay? But I'm going to be patient. I need to see the data in the charts, okay, going forward. So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart to see what we can see, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, at the moment we are bouncing off this sweet spot, and this is something I relayed in the video and tweets to you. If you take a look at this zone here, this is where we find a little bit of support for Bitcoin on the weekly time frame right now, and we're seeing a little bit of a reversal. So in the next few weeks, if we can bottom and create reversal structure and break out the bump and run, which I'll show you on a daily in a moment for Bitcoin, then okay, we may have found a bottom this week basically, and we're working on the bottom going forward. So we need to escape this ribbon as well, because we've fallen into it. We don't necessarily want to see Bitcoin trading under that and start turning into resistance, because then you'll start to do something like you did there, which obviously gives you a clue to a bigger macro correction going forward. So structurally at the moment, what we've got to do is just respect the structure within the charts that we see. We've got some kind of 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a 5, and we are still maintaining this higher high and higher low structure. If Bitcoin starts to give us more clues by breaking down below the ribbon, turning to resistance like it did there, creating some kind of bear flag where you push down, trend back up, you know, bear flag which we traded, then okay, we've got to respect that. You know, you've got a pattern in the charts that's bearish. But at the moment, what we're doing respectfully, we found support on this low here, found it there in the summer. So there's your bottom, boom, breakout, there's your bottom, boom, breakout, and right now we're finding support right on cue around about 44.37. So I think a bigger clue to a bigger macro correction I actually envision here would be the RSI. If we start to do something like this, trend up and obviously trend down and create some kind of bear flag or whatever, then yeah, you're starting to create that bearish outlook basically for Bitcoin in the structure within the charts. But respectfully at the moment, there's a low, there's a higher low, there's a higher low, and currently there's a higher low, and you're making higher highs and higher low. So structurally, obviously in time a big macro correction would come in, but you know, for us to jump up and say this is it, bear market, like a lot of people saying there, without the loss of structure is a little bit of hopium at the moment. But obviously I'm looking for deeper and bigger clues in the RSI and equally the CoinsKid ribbon on the weekly time frame, just like the clues that we got here. When you start to trend below this and trend back up, this is where I flip bearish on Bitcoin, because we started to print things in the charts. Basically, go back to the videos, we started to print death crosses on the 20 and 55 week EMA. And if we take a look at those EMAs right now, this is your 55 and this is your 20, and you can clearly see, you know, you start to break down below that, you're getting your death cross just there. You know, you've got to project down, you're in some kind of big macro correction, and we just don't see that yet. If anything, we're just trending down, holding support between the EMAs. Everyone's flipping bear without any bigger clues to the bear. Do you understand? So obviously the correction will come in at some point, but to call every single correction a bear market, just like people saying there and just there, and right now they're saying just there, is a little bit of opium. But the only thing that I could see in the charts that could say, okay, we are in a bear market, is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. This is why at this point, go back to the videos I did relay to you, if you're jumping into Bitcoin right now, you're taking on a high probability of risk of a potential bear market. But I need to see more clues in the structure going forward to, you know, jump up and down and tell us that we are in that bear market right now. So let's dive into the daily time frame for Bitcoin. So looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, we've got this ABC correction. This is my primary at the moment. We've got the bear div in December, lower highs in the RSI, high highs in the index, and right now we've got a bull div, which is a reversal, possibly at the bottom of the C wave. So in the C wave, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. We've got the 5 waves to the downside. So this is an opportunity right now. You know, whether or not it comes up in a retracement, whatever, right now is a buying opportunity because of the 5 waves we see in the Bitcoin chart on the daily. So like I've always taught you, 5 waves down, you buy, 5 waves up, you sell. So right now it's a buying opportunity, not necessarily a selling opportunity. So what we need to see over the next few weeks is some kind of reversal that comes into the ribbon, gets rejected, start to create high-low structure from left to right, some kind of ascending triangle at the lows, breakout back test, see you later. So if we take a look, the bottom is here in March. If we look at the previous bump and run pattern, how long was it until Bitcoin was breaking out to the upside? So the previous bump and run pattern was in 2023. We got the low just there, then we came back up, broke out back to, this is the sort of structure I'm looking for Bitcoin on the daily. Break this level resistance, green dot, see you later on the upside. So basically that was September, and then literally we're making all-time highs where we broke the range in October, so a month later. So if we look at that as a potential scenario, bottom here, go sideways in a range, gets a bit boring, a bit choppy, retesting the lows, we'll build some lovely positions, get the breakout confirmation, trend above the ribbon, green buy dot, within a month we could be up here. So that would be basically April. Towards the end of April we'll be breaking these highs and making all-time highs in towards April and May, which is where I've said to you in May, sell and go away. So that is my primary at the moment. We should see some kind of reversal here for Bitcoin. You know, we hold the structural lows, go sideways, break out, back test, green buy dot, boom, we're breaking out, and we're looking at a sell in May event right there, you know, for Bitcoin. So we've got a bear div into a bull div. I wish everyone most luck. If you are looking to trade Bitcoin, I would highly recommend Blowfin, non-KYC exchange. The link's in the video description. An amazing exchange right there. There is a competition going on where you can get a free spin to win a laptop and things like that. So definitely look at that today. The link's in the video description. But right now, if you are in any longs, this is where you put your stop loss right now to negate this trade. It's a very minimal risk trade for Bitcoin. If this is a reversal right now, your long setup is around about 6.8% invalidation. Roughly, what is that position right now for Bitcoin? This is where you would have your stops. Now currently I'm not in a trade. I want to see the structure. Like I said to you, I'm not a degen. I want to see the structure play out, but as soon as I start to see the structure play out, I'll jump into a long position, show you that trade going forward, and then we'll ride this bad boy out for the next big impulsive wave after this ABC expanded flat correction that we've been in since December. So that's my primary at the moment, unless we start to create really bearish market structure where we break down below that weekly ribbon right there on the CoinsKid ribbon right there on the weekly time frame. I hope you understand the update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Back to an update on Bitcoin. Bye bye.